one of the popular sounding 1950s rock and roll guitar riffs that you'd be hearing coming out of American radios across the country. Americans loved their entertainment, and we're going to take a brief look at how Americans were entertained throughout history. Around the turn of the century, in the late 1800s, rodeos and Wild West shows were made popular by Buffalo Bill. In these shows, Americans could marvel at the many skills that the cowboys and the Indians had. They could also learn about the traditions and the cultures of the Indian tribes. In the early 1900s, Thomas Edison brought the phonograph into the house and simple motion pictures. This did a big, huge amount for the music industry, because now people could listen to the music that they wanted to right in the convenience of their own homes. In the 1920s, automobiles, film, and radio broadcasts brought a lot of entertainment to American audiences. By the late 1920s, 80% of all automobiles were driven on American roadways. Americans wanted to escape the constraints of society and enjoy life. The automobile also made it possible for Americans to travel further to farther away destinations when they took their vacations. In 1927, Warner Brothers spent $500,000 creating the first film with synchronized words and pictures. Warner Brothers, Universal, Columbia, and MGM were the first studios making such films in Hollywood. The 1930s and 1940s, entertainment was still alive and well. However, Americans were more focused on the Depression and World War II. When the 1950s rolled around, rock and roll entered the music scene. Artists such as Elvis Presley, Buddy Holly, and the Big Bopper showed up on the scene, and people went crazy over them. Television was now in 90% of the American households, and they were being viewed for about 5 hours a day. In the 1960s, counterculture folk and protest music was made popular by Bob Dylan and Joan Baez. People who were against the war and all the engagements that the United States was in conflict with now had an outlet. In the 1970s and 1980s, television program was very diverse. In the 1970s, programs like All in the Family with politically incorrect characters such as Archie Bunker were being viewed in many households. Disco music also came onto the scene in the 1970s. By the 1980s, hip-hop, punk rock, pop, and country music were also popular. There was pretty much something for everybody. In the 1990s, President Bill Clinton played the saxophone on the Arsenio Hall show to gain popularity amongst young voters. He also appeared on music television. This showed how powerful an outlet radio, television, and film was to America. In the 1990s, Americans were able to watch the Gulf War airstrikes live on television. No matter what time frame in American history we look at, you'll see that music, television, radio, automobiles, films, live performances, and social media followed along with that history, changing accordingly for better or for worse, because Americans love entertainment. Thanks for watching.